Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. We're going to wait 2 minutes for people to join. My name is Ferit. I'm with Josephine, my wife. We are home.
Bonjour!
This is one of these little French food, little snacks that can make you feel that you're in France waiting at a brasserie for your amazing lunch in between two tours or just enjoying life in Paris. Tonight we're going to do Croque Monsieur, and just tell me if people start to show. We're going to take our time, maybe to introduce ourselves to those who have not seen us. So this is a food with me. So we just relax. You can ask me any questions about life, about anything.
Bonjour Brenda, bonjour Mary.
Hi Brenda, hi Mary.
And Laura.
I encourage all of you to actually enjoy wine if you can during this little video. I took Sauvignon Gris today. So what is so Sauvignon Gris, maybe we see the label, 2019, it's from Val de Loire. It's a récoltant, that means that the man who is making the wine is perfectly controlling his harvest. This is a dry white wine that will go really well with our Croque Monsieur tonight. Let's start drinking and then we start to cook, right? Because today, what I want to do is to show you several types of Croque Monsieur. And from the easiest version, which is basically a grilled cheese, nothing fancy, right? But you can still maybe fancy it up with a bit of Gruyere. And to the ones that are a bit more elaborate, I would say. To me, they are kind of three levels of Croque Monsieur. I'm not pretending to be Gordon Ramsay, but I really love the way he cooks. And to spice up things, I choose amazing ham. This is what makes the soul of the Croque Monsieur, the cheese.
Should we show the ham first?
Yeah. So we're going to do 3 different types of ham.
And by the way, we got these ham from the market of Versailles, fresh today.
Maybe I still have the...
So for those of you who tune in to watch our live this morning, we did a quick walk around the Golden Palace. And after that, we check out the local market. It's a rich neighborhood and they have quality food. So this is the ham that we got from the market of Versailles.
Yeah, the market of Versailles actually has been elected the best market of France a few years ago.
We don't hear you very well.
Yeah.
We're moving away.
So the market of Versailles has been elected best market of France or loveliest market of France a few years ago. We went there at Les Délices du Palais. And I really like this house. Whenever we go to Versailles and we just... think we're going to do a picnic, I'm going there to do my shopping, and we're going to have 3 different ham today. There is something really important to notice about this ham.
So hi Lynn, did you guys note down the name of the place where we get the ham? Make sure that you check it out for your next picnic at Versailles.
So we have 3 ham, and all of them have been made in-house. So they buy the leg of the pork and then they cook it themselves. And you have 3 different ones. This one, they are all cut. They cut the bones out before cooking for this one. And this one, they left the bone in it. And you can see they have different texture. When you look at this one, look maybe at the fiber, how much the muscle is still there. And this is going to give a lot of juice when you are going to cook it in between your legs, in between the bread. Yeah. This one is also boiled with some spices, some pepper, salt, herbs, and that's it. It's wrapped into a little net, which is either in linen or in silk. And what I really like about these ones is that it still retains some of the fat in between the tissue. This is a really nice quality ham, white ham. And this one is the braised one. You can see the skin. Still this it has been cooked the same way, and then it's braised a little bit in the oven. And so it's you can see all the peppercorn that are still in the center.
Yeah, the black dots.
Yeah.
Love those.
So to complement
Full
these
of flavors.
ham, we're going to take 3 different cheeses.
Just one pause, a quick pause. We say hello to the newcomers.
Yeah.
Linda,
Lynn, Brenda, Laura. Yeah.
Let's. Hi.
Yeah, we haven't seen each other for a while.
For a while. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, how is life?
Let us know where you're tuning in from. I just want to say a quick thank you for all of you who has been very generously supporting us since the beginning of our project. To Lynn, to Mary, the 2 sisters from Holland, and to many of you, Laura, many of you, Joan, Lorena. So from everyone, Lorena, if you're here, come and say hello. So I won't be able to mention all of your names. We won't be able to mention all of your names, but we have felt so so deeply touched by your generosity and by your support, not just financially but also tuning in and watch us. So just a quick thank you.
And also sending us letters or emails, sending us messages of encouragement. And I think we wouldn't have been able to continue with the same passion as we do today if you were not here. So this is also a time for us to say that for all those who supported us, I'm really eager to invite you to a huge picnic when you come to
yes,
Paris.
Definitely.
And make you try bits and bites from everywhere, from my favorite shops, and get on together into these wonderful parks and sites in Paris.
So yes, all of you guys are invited. Have a drink, join us picnic when you are in Paris. So hi Betty, hi Tim, and let's continue, shall we?
Yeah. So we have our ham and now we have the cheese. So I took 3 different cheeses. We have the Gruyere, and this is going to be like it's a grated cheese, of course. I grated it just before. It took me some time, but this way you have like this little powder sometimes. But eventually, don't grate your cheese more than an hour before you cook. Or if you buy already grated cheese, well, it's fine. Life is life. And the goal is to grate it the last minute so that it doesn't dry. If it's too dry, it's not going to melt properly. Then I took this. So this is to go outside and inside. This is going to go only inside the croque monsieur. And this is a black truffle Gouda.
Ooh, black truffle.
You don't need to have a lot of black truffle into anything fat to give it some taste, because the Gouda is a really fatty cheese, more than 70-80% of fat in it. The black truffle is going to give a lot of flavor and attach itself to the entire composition of the cheese. So it's going to release all of these flavors as soon as we cook it. And the last one is much more typical of France. You see that mold on the top?
Yeah.
Right? So this is called Saint-Nectaire. It comes from the center of France. We are not going to eat the crust. I'm eating the crust of most of my cheeses, but this one I won't try. You see how black it is. You can if you already are good with it. And it's going to give us, maybe it's shiny a little bit. Yeah. This is going to give us the gooey texture inside.
Wow.
So it's firm, it's gooey. This is why I'm taking this one, because as soon as you put it in, it's not going to melt directly and go through your bread. You see, it's still like keeping itself, holding itself. And this is what I want.
Elastic.
So I cook it, and when it cooks, it melts.
So where did you get the cheese?
So the cheese, any fromagerie in Paris and in France in general, when you go to a shop that says fromagerie on top of it, it's a maître fromager or someone who followed a training to keep the cheeses inside. Because in France, in our conceptions of things, I'm talking about it as if it was philosophical. Cheese is not a religion yet, but we have 2 great powers. You have the power of the cheese makers, and then you have the people who keep it, and I'm starting to talk French, like keep it, and affiner, who age the cheese. And there is a competition every year for the best makers, les meilleurs ouvriers de France, the best craftsmen of France. and it takes place for a bit more than 70 different professions, from cleaning, like there is a competition for cleaning ladies, there is a competition for boulangerie, baguette, so on, and same thing for the cheeses. So I'm just going nearby to any of these shops which says fromagerie. I don't buy cheeses anymore in supermarket, because in Paris, I'm lucky, in Paris you have a lot of fromage shop like this. And I would prefer to buy it in a shop than in a market, but it always depends on the market you hit.
Yeah.
So this comes from the nearby cheese.
We
cheese
have
shop.
had guests who is amazed that in France business can survive by selling cheeses, different types of cheeses, and the French are definitely very attached to this tradition and making the high quality of cheeses. I don't know, when you walk into a fromagerie, there's like
at least 200 or 300 cheeses.
Yeah.
Like not everything, but no, maybe not 200. Maybe a regular cheese shop would have 100 or 150 cheeses, because you have declination of several of them. And then the bread.
Yes, let's move on to the bread.
So French toasts that I'm going to make with pain de mie, regular like milk bread.
Pain de mie is?
Yeah, milk bread, I think. Yeah. And then pain aux
Is
céréales.
it milk or is it honey?
No. Milk. No honey in this one, for sure. But yes. And so you see it's cooked in this kind of... You have different ways to do it. Or it's cooked in this, so it's something like this, more square. And then it does this wonderful curl at the top. Or it's completely closed and then it's perfectly square. And then this is cereal breads. I really love cereal breads because they have this like really softness into it, that and crispiness on the outside that I really like whenever I'm cooking something.
Yeah, the seeds are also very aromatic.
Yeah, and it gives a little bit of crunchiness after you started to bite it.
Definitely.
So
I can just chew on it all day.
let's start to cook. And I'm going to start by preparing something for the level 3 of the Croque Monsieur. And then we start back to the first level, which is grilled toast. So the first thing I'm going to do, and this is why last time, if you watch Fraisier, which Lynn, I still have to edit the video we made about, because I dressed it and I did my all of it. I showed you how to make this cream that goes really well with the strawberries, right? Which is a buttercream mixed with a crème pâtissière, so two together, that enables the fraisier to give all of its flavors. Today, it's another standard of French kitchen. It's what we call la sauce Bechamel. And it's a really simple sauce. I'm taking 30 grams of butter. You see, I'm more prepared. I put my 30 grams of butter in it. I let it melt gently. Then I put over 30 grams, it's easy, 30 grams of butter, 30 grams of flour, wheat flour, and then 30 centiliters of milk. You can do the comparisons on internet afterwards.
30.
30. It's really easy. And so right now we just mix it gently. You see, I'm going to lower. The goal is not to burn anything. It looks rough, you see. I'm going small quantities. This is why it's like this. Right. I'm doing a larger pot because it goes faster. And you don't have to hit the entire thing. So you see, basically I browned my flour, and you got something that's really sticky like this. When it's like this, your butter is attached to your flour, and now you start to put the milk bit by bit. First 10 centiliters.
The scent of the butter is in the air.
Yeah, for those who haven't come with me already, I'm always using one of the few AOCs, so Appellation d'Origine Contrôlée, of butter, and this one is coming from my region. This is like a dozen of kilometers, like 50 kilometers away from where I'm from in Normandy. So this is Isigny, And this is an amazing and flavorful butter. So easy. A lot of regions have their own butter specialties. So it's well mixed. I add the second 10 centiliters. Tac. Any questions so far? So you put the up.
So far so good, guys. Is it easy to follow?
So what's going to happen now is that we are trying to get the starch out. Flour starch, wheat flour, is taking a lot of water. Corn flour is taking even more, but the traditional way is to do it with wheat flour. So you turn around like this, it thickens. And for the last cup of water that I'm putting in,
milk,
I'm going to add some fresh nutmeg. You see? Up.
What is this?
Nutmeg. I think it's nutmeg. Anytime I'm cooking eggs, you have to be careful because some people are allergic to it. And don't leave this to the kids because 2 berries can kill a horse if they just swallow it like this. So, but just a little bit. It gives a lot of taste. It's good for your liver. So that's it. You see how much there is. I put my last cup. So now I bring up a bit of heat. And I don't stop because the milk, when you leave it to cook, you see you get this little, because of the proteins that are inside, is going to stick, protein and sugar, is going to stick at the bottom of your pan. And right now the bechamel is here and we're going to get the most out of the flour we got. On top of that, the flour I'm using is not expensive, it's a normal price. You just have to find it. It's a stone grinded flour, so it's much more slow as a process, but it's about the same price. Few cents difference per kilo. So we don't stop, you see it's smoking, and at some point it's going to we leave it a little bit. I'll take a bit of wine. Yes, because cooking has to be done with pleasure. You can add a bit of salt, just a tiny bit. To me, nutmeg is kind of the vanilla for savory. Any questions? How are you? To give you a bit of news from Paris, everything reopens the 19th of June.
9th.
For the borders, the borders reopen, yeah. And 9th of June, all the restaurants are reopened.
It's the 9th.
Inside, outside. The borders as well?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday that both UK and US vaccinated or negative test tourists can enter. And we also have pushed back the curfew to 11 p.m.
Yeah.
But by June 30th, there will be no more curfew.
But you can see already today, when they started to open the terrace, it was crazy. Now, when you go to the parks, everywhere, people are just enjoying. And
how is the situation like in places, in your places?
oh, come. Look at this. It starts to thicken. You see this? It's not too liquid anymore. It starts to be more thick and thicker. And so that's this. Yeah. Look at this. And so that's the starch. And now this is the moment. All right, you have to be careful. You cannot stop. Because if you stop, it has to be even more thick.
That's great. Linda says Chicago opens June 11th. That's quick too.
Oh wow, yeah.
So just in time for summer. There's a great number of exhibitions that's going on in Paris.
We just went to Chanel. We just went to Portraitist of Louis XIV this morning.
At Versailles, yes. And we're going to visit a museum called Carnavalet, the Museum of the Paris History, which has been closed for 5 years for restoration.
Yeah. And you want to see the jokes about this? Well, I don't know what was undergoing in terms of negotiation, but I really understand the guards sometimes. You know, for the catacombs, I was working a lot in the catacombs. They did a strike because they wanted to have more staff, basically. Same things happens regularly in the Louvre. So the guards striking because they want more staff to protect the places they are working at better. And and Carnavalet, the day of the reopening, had a strike as well. The day of the reopening after 5 years. So look at this. You see how thick it is?
So we have really positive news from everywhere. Everything is open in Texas, restaurants, parks, stadiums, even baseball games have 100% capacity, Catherine is telling us. Wow. Well, in France, we are not allowed to have more than 10 people in private gathering yet, even after June 30th. So we don't have news updates on the maximum capacity for private gathering yet. But we have already had a 5,000 people concert.
Yeah.
New Jersey is opening up, Lynn is telling us. Colorado is opening. Oh yeah, Lynn tells us about my quick walk in the Louvre yesterday. So perfect time to visit.
Okay. So that's fine now. This is what we want. And you see the texture is not too right. What we want is to actually get it out and cool it. Because if you don't cool it, you are not going to be able to use it afterwards. So normally this is something you do before.
I'm gonna have to leave you here just by yourself for a moment because Lena is waking up from her siesta. Feeling pretty grumpy.
Yeah. So this is our bechamel. This one, and I'm cooling it down right now in water.
Lena.
So Colorado is opening. We're going to be able to see the Broncos, isn't it? So right now we are done preparing something that's going to be really useful for cooking the second part of this croque monsieur. But let's start to do the easiest one, the grilled cheese one. Okay? How easy it is. You just take your bread, put it in a pan that has been buttered, and I always put, for those who know me already, a lot of butter and a bit of oil, a tiny bit. And we're going to just wipe it. I take a tissue, which on my countryside we call it le graissou, un graissou, so that you see the fat graisse is getting stuck to the pan. Up. And it's going to be so quick and easy. Basically a grilled cheese. I will white bread. Tack, 2 white breads on it, easy peasy. Then we butter it. My butter has melted a bit before. Can you see it? Yeah. Tack. If you missed the Louvre visit, you can always rewatch it. It's on Facebook normally. So I'm putting my butter. Pop. Right. Some people melt their butter before, but who does it really? If you are at home, just do things like this, and it's going to be nice. Up. So you have buttered your bread, it's fine. And now we go for the easiest croque monsieur. You put your cheese on it, on each side. Maybe some of it is going to go on the pan, it doesn't matter, it will stick a little bit. You clean it in between two croque monsieur. So that's it. This is also bought at the same shop. This is a 1-year-old, 12-month-old aged Gruyere, so it's the simplest one. Tac, tac, tac. Some people argue that we should say Gruyere. Now you see it's cooking a little bit. Some cheese is stuck to it. It's normal. It happens. Life is like a chocolate box. You never know what you're going to eat. That's it. Slowly. If you want to accelerate a bit the process, what you can do is to cover it. Boom! Because this doesn't go in the oven. I didn't tell you, I'm cheating a little bit, because I already turned on my oven just before this video started, because we're going to do the second version is going to use the oven. I'm going to check the temperature of the bechamel. And we're going to do kind of a second bechamel afterwards. And you will understand why. So bechamel is great. You can use it for la blanquette de veau, these ville blanquette and things like that. So you can use it in different occasions. This is a simple thing that people should learn when they want to cook French. Tac. Right, great. We lower the fire a little bit. I'm going to put some of this ham. What I prefer to do is not to put one straight tranche, but to like split it a little bit into little tiny bites. Up, put it. We have to get quick because it burns. This is why I put the butter also at the bottom. And then up. You see, look at this amazing brown color. So I'm lowering the fire to the maximum right now. So it's like 1/3 of the capacity, because we want it not to burn. We want it to be just warm. Alright, simple. That's level 1, really. If you don't have time to do anything else, just do this and it's fine. We're going to do level 2 in 2 seconds, which is really simple as well. Do you like crème fraîche? So I'm preparing the level 2 right away. We've got our little bowl here. How is it? Tac, tac, tac. Up. Right here. Starting to be messy, I don't like it. So, little bowl. We flip it. Crème fraîche. So, where is it written? So this is crème fraîche Yoplait. This is typical from France. My very favorite one is Elle et Vire. This is the name of 2 rivers. So I take a nice spoon of my crème fraîche. Then I had reserved a bit before some parsley. I'm buying it fresh and I'm drying it myself, so I'm sure that how long it has been dried. So I'm putting it in. Then I put a bit of my traditional mustard right here. Let's take a clean spoon. I don't want to. So 1 little spoon like this. Up. We mix it. And you obtain this lovely sauce. If you want a bit of sweetness into it, you can put honey. And I know some people who are bold enough to put some barbecue sauce. So that's it. Our first croque monsieur seems to be almost done. Right, didn't take too long. You have to protect it, right? Boom. We're going to let it melt a little bit more. And in the same time, we can butter our second one. So this is level 2. This one, I'm taking a bit of the cereal bread. Up, Josephine is back. Elena is not too far. How was the nap? Someone is dying to get these croque monsieur. She's watching with a little eye, but I was smart enough to buy some saucisson, dry sausage, when I went to the butchery. So she's fine and quiet now.
Is it good, Lena?
How is it going? It's going well. I'll add a little bit more. Right now we're going to do exactly the same thing. We have put a bit of butter. Bit of butter, right? And then I put a tiny bit of cream. Up with my mustard, with my parsley, and my cream in it. Same thing on the other side. Up, level 2. We're here. If you don't have time to watch the entire video, right, everything is going to be recorded and on YouTube, so you will be able to stop at each things that you want. Up, as it is going, fine.
Turn it upside down?
Yep. Regularly. So now I have my honey, my cheese stack, everything is ready. Up. I'm going to use the other one, the braised up. So, first thing first, we're going to remove this guy, which must be fine. Yeah, it's fine. Up. Before I continue, I clean a bit my pan. I'm going to scratch it 2 seconds, I come back. Up. And ready. Maybe I put a tiny bit of butter on top more. Come on, man.
The pan seems hot.
It is. That butter smells like an old farm. As says Julia Childs, there is never enough butter. So, up. Look at this. It almost caramelizes. This is what we want. Exactly what I want. So, I'm going to lower the fire. It's going to be great. And in the meantime, so these are the pan ones. And you can do it with your pan. This is quick. The inside cheese is not going to be as melted as I want. So what I'm going to do now is to start the one that I cook inside the oven. Okay? So let's start with the bechamel based oven ones. And for these, because there is the bechamel, because it's going to be much more juicy. Attends 2 secondes. Hop. Voilà. So this guy is ready. Let's look at which part it's heavy. Right, it's inside. Up.
How?
So it's fine.
Let's see. Let's have a look. Nice.
Yeah. So I'm putting it on the side. But what I want is the melted cheese one now. I want to have melted cheese in my stuff. So you see, I come back with my bechamel, which I cooled down already. It has a little skin on top, and so up. I don't want the skin too much. Normally, you take your time to cool it down in your fridge, and you put some film on it. Wait 2 seconds. So, what do I have? I'm taking my bread again. I'm taking a bit of my bechamel sauce. So I have bechamel, there is no cheese in it. I'm putting it onto my bread. Right, it becomes lovely. This one is cool now. I put it in ice water. So it was fine, it went quick. Tack, tack, tack. So the bechamel, you don't put too much, it's going to go everywhere afterwards. Just like this. Now, inside it, I want to have my truffle flavor cheese. Right. It smells already. Of course, I don't do that when I'm not biting my cheese, when I cook it for guests. Oh. Tack, tack, tack. So I have my truffle inside. Now I'm going to use my best honey and my best ham on my truffle.
We have a question from Linda.
Yeah.
Why can't you use the bechamel warm?
Because otherwise it's going to be too liquid. So when you use the bechamel warm, the goal is to use the bechamel as a spread in this case. And the fact that you are using it cold, when the fat is cold, is going to retain more of the flavor as well. So this is why we don't use the bechamel warm, otherwise it's too liquidy and it's going to go through the entire thing. So now you see I put my cheese, I put my ham up, it's there. And I can put, because what you want with the bechamel is to create juiciness. It's not to have something completely liquid. So I have something like this that I'm using like a glue. And I'm coming back to my Gruyere, which is going to crust it really nicely. So my oven is 200 degrees Celsius. It's already warm. I have this amazing piece that's going to get in it for 15 minutes. Hop. And that's it. Pardon, maintenant. So come. We put it in the middle. I'm going to give him some friends afterwards. Middle, cooking from the top, right? It's not with ventilation. I'm going to lower it down to 90. Up. 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, we're going to be able to enjoy that guy. Okay? So, now, how is this one doing? Amazing.
What was the temperature?
200 degrees Celsius. I think it's a thermostat 5 or 6, something like that. So 200, look, come.
200 Celsius degree.
Yeah, for 15 minutes.
Oh,
oops, sorry.
Yeah.
So, sorry. This is what I want, the crispiness on the outside. And you can see inside. Real cheese are not so, I mean, it depends, but like these ones, not too gooey, but it's fine. It's going to, they're still melty and soft. Up. That's it. Second guy. So the first one, basic one. The second one, we have got the kind of a cream and mustard in it with some herbs. It's fine. And now we're going to cook another one inside the oven. I am taking back some of my bechamel. Now I'm going to take back some of my bechamel. My pan is hot. I'm lowering the fire as much as I can. And what I'm going to do, I want to use that pan. No, I'm not going to use that pan, I'm sorry. I'm going to use this pan. I'm going to, I made a lot, but we're going to eat it afterwards. It's like, this is a proportion, 30-30-30, when you want to do it one for 4 people in your family. So I take some, put it in my pan, and we're going to do the last level of Croque Monsieur. The last level is when your bechamel is actually already infused with cheese. So I'm taking my bechamel, I'm warming it up with some cheese inside. And this is what we call a sauce mornay. M-O-R-N-A-Y. Mornay. M-O-R-N-A-Y. This is named after a duke that lived in Saumur. Saumur is really famous for the white wines. And so what's happening here is that so today you learn how to make a simple bechamel, and now you are starting to learn how to make the base for your soufflé with cheese soufflé. This is exactly how it starts. Bechamel plus cheese, and you keep adding some ingredients to it. And so you have the sauce bechamel evolving into a sauce mornay, evolving with the eggs that you're going to put in it into a base for soufflé au fromage. So you see there is the cheese inside. This is normally, when you go to a fancier brasserie in Paris, this is the level that you expect when you pay 10 euros, 15 euros, 20 euros. And like when you start to have good croque monsieur, it has to be done with the mornay sauce usually in Paris. So it's still not what I want. I want it to be even more. You know, I want to be able to do cheese balls. Again, there is cheese in it, there is milk in it. So you want to make sure that it doesn't burn, and you see it starts to be exactly what I want. Right, it holds a bit more. I don't want to see basically the shape of the cheese I was using. Right, look at that. It's continuous, doesn't stop. It's like you are eating an aligot, you know? This mix of, look at this. Cannot break it. Isn't that amazing? That looks good to me. So now, what do we do with that mornay sauce? Stopping the fire. I should have prepared more plates. The plate. The bread. Again, as always, a bit of butter onto the bread. You know, in France, we have these amazing ladies who are living until like their hundred something, late 90s, running all around the villages. There is this woman who is 102, I think, in the north of France, and she she still has a bar. She's holding a bar, and she has been holding a bar for like a good 40 years. So when she retired, she opened that bar, and now she's still on it. And you hear them, they say, always cooked with pork fat inside my dishes. So now, a bit of butter, and a bit of mornay sauce. So I take it, up, it's easy, tick, 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 come on man, it's one stop. This one, I leave it directly on it when it's still warm. I don't really care, because when it cools down, it's going to be, sometimes it's getting really hard and you cannot work it at all. So you see, I'm not using fancy tools because I'm never going to be a professional. So I'm like doing what we call bricolage. And bricolage is what? Bricolage is like you do with what you have under your hands. I have my mornay sauce, but I want to have some more. I want to have something. That gives even more texture to it. So I'm removing the skin of that one. You can also mix the cheeses, you know. You can mix cheese up. So I'm taking this, putting it there. It's going to be amazing. Just one on each side, maybe is enough. Tack, tack. Up, putting it here. I'm going to use my best one. I'm going to do the last piece, cutting into two. Right, you can also fold it. Now I put this thing back on top. It starts to be layered, as we can see. Then I put again some of my sauce at the very top. And you know this croque monsieur, well, everywhere on this planet you can get it, really. Different cultures had it. The official croque monsieur is something that was born at the end of the 19th century, possibly the beginning of 20th century, in Parisian bistros. Basically 2 slices of bread with some grilled cheese in the middle, right? So now, boom, look at this monster. I like them short and intense, just like myself. I had a dish. Well, you know what? This is the reason I love that pan. It's because it's cast iron. Up, I put it directly inside, and then I put it directly inside the oven. So there are 6 minutes left for the other guy. So we're going to have 6 minutes for the other guy and another 9 after the first one is finished. I'm going to clean up a little bit. We try different things. I could redo. You see, it goes fast. If you don't have to present, you are with your kids, maybe a bit older. Lena is a bit tired today, but you can just do them one after another. And I remember my grandfather was cooking it. As soon as he was coming to home, they were staying about 3 months every year with my parents and I. And I was just in love with his croque monsieur, and he was doing it all the time for me. And that's maybe some of my best, yes, it's in my top 10 childhood food memories. And yeah, I always remember these moments with my grandfather cooking his croque monsieur for me at lunch, you know, when you come back to school. Basically, when these 3 months I was not signing up for the school lunch, when I was like up to my 11th birthday. And it was just great to have this grandfather ready, you know. He comes to pick me up, we come back home, everything is set. And he's like, set up everything on the pan, wait in 15 minutes and it's over. So today we took a bit of time because the bechamel is something you prepare ahead. And but I wanted to show you how to make this one. And that's it, I hope you enjoyed. We're going to wait a few minutes for the first one to get out. It already looks good. And if you have questions about anything, right, we can talk about it. I'm going to get a bit of truffle cheese as we are talking because up. So how are you doing? How is it going so far? Results in a few minutes. Have you tried to cook this before? I mean, you have done grilled cheese, I'm sure. This is like some toast with cheese and ham, nothing complicated. What I like is to really try to get these different types of cheese to have new flavors, stronger flavors inside these cooked toasts. The one I'm drinking, so this one is from a small producer, not too far from Nantes. And maybe. And this guy, this is a really, it's like, if I tell you the price of that bottle, you are going to tell me what's in it, right? It's a €6 bottle that you buy directly from the producer. And I was like, really, €6? And it's a dry white wine, Sauvignon Gris, full Sauvignon Gris, and it's like so fruitful that you have really the feel that it's sweet, but there is no sugar in it. Yeah, 2 seconds for the grilled cheese. You put them into this thing. Well, we do that too, but Croque Monsieur is supposed to be a dish you can sell. So yeah, but this one with, I really hope that maybe you can try with the bechamel one day. Take your time, make your stuff in the morning or at lunch. Cook it for the dinner afterwards when it's well cold. And bechamel is really one of the basics of the French cooking. But I'm following these competitions of international competitions of best cheeses, and like 2-3 years ago, several years now in a row, you have American cheeses that start to take the top of the podium. And there was, I think, the best cheese of the world 2 years ago. I'm dying to get this. I'm not sure. I don't want to say Vermont because it would be too stereotypical. But there was this cheese, a cheddar, a blue cheddar infused with a pear liquor, and it was like so amazing. So amazing. When I looked at this on the video, I was like, oh my god, this must hit like this little soft spot that's in between your lung. Your heart starts to beat when you get this thing. Let's have a look at something else though. All right. So what's going on here? That's number 2. That's number 1. So this is the one with the, what's it called? The truffle one. I'm losing all my words. And this one is with the Saint-Nectaire. So sauce Mornay, Bechamel. One minute to go. 1 minute to go. And also, you see, well, we took a good hour to do this today. A good hour. But I have many of clients, some will become friends. So, I want it to be a bit more grilled. So I'm going to just do 5 more minutes with a higher temperature for it to really grill on the top. And they love to buy these cheeses, but often they don't have the time to finish it, they don't bring it home. They bought it because they stayed at an Airbnb, or they try to put some cheeses in their hotel. But if you take an Airbnb, it's really, there's so many little dishes like this, like what I was trying to show you with the crepes, with stuff like this. There are these nights where you just come back, you haven't had the chance to get out, or because of the time delay of the jet lag, you feel hungry at 1 a.m., you wake up like this. And this is, you are not off, when you travel to France from the US and from anywhere else that has like more than 2 or 3 hours of jet lag, you have these things that come up. And it's not too bad to know how to make this little dish when you stay at an Airbnb and you can cook on your own. And so you can try more and more of these cheeses. I'm going to just You know what? A ham should be good to eat like this, just as much as when you cook it. With just a bit of butter, it would be just amazing. We're almost done. 4 minutes. How are you doing on this side? It's good?
We're good. We're good.
Ready to eat like 4 different croque monsieur.
Wow.
And also when I was buying the bread, I saw something I didn't see in that bakery before. And it was a violet eclair. A violet eclair. And I was like, oh my god, I really love anything flavored with violet. So we're going to do a display of all the different croque monsieur we have. And what you can eat croque monsieur with, a bit of salad, few sliced tomatoes with a bit of balsamic vinegar, extra virgin olive oil, all the simple, all the best. And that's it. That's going to be an amazing dinner tonight, I guess.
Lorena says that it looks delicious and something that she's anxious to try.
Ouais, Léna. Tu veux faire avec moi après? So yes, Lena wants to do it. So we're going to do it after the video, Lena. It's in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, it's over. And so I can completely focus, and most of all, I can organize my spot, because this is like pigs are working like this. I don't like to work like this too much. I like to have everything clean, but today it's for display. And you're in my kitchen, so well, I hope that you feel at home.
On va faire des recettes.
Oui, on va faire plusieurs recettes. 2 minutes. Is it brown on the top? This is my question. I would need to cook it a bit longer, but it's still already good. Wait. We're going to do that. Well, you have one bread. I'm going to show this on a post because this bread is nice. There is a little bakery in the Marais. Maybe you have heard of the Marais. It's the Jewish Renaissance gay neighborhood of Paris as well. You have many things in the Marais. Street arts.
LGBT.
LGBT,
And,
yeah.
We're going for a walk next Sunday.
Yeah, we're going for a walk there next Sunday. And so what's happening is that you have a bakery that's called Carré, which means square. And so CARRE, and it does the best smell bread of town. It's a Japanese man who is really influenced by both flour from the Loire Valley and flour from Hokkaido. And he's making 2 types of bread, the traditional French one, and this look goes all the way like this. I'm going to show you this in a post. It's so fluffy, so amazing. To me, he has a 18 euro croque monsieur, up to 25 euros, depending if there is lobster on it or not. So 18 euros croque monsieur, but that was the best I have had in my life, maybe. And so this carré. There is one ham. I really like these ones because this one is cooked. This one is cooked by themselves, and you see it's completely white. It's not pink. In fact, pork shouldn't be pink when you cook it this way. And they add some nitrates so to preserve it, and it gives that pink color. This one is because the way they boiled it, it was a slow temperature. They keep it like around 100. It doesn't the color is because of the blood of the bone that's still on it as well. This was cut far from the bone, so it's still like really nicely white in this case. And you can see the muscles are like you can peel them through, and it really takes some effort. And so there is no additives inside these ones, which makes the whole difference. Okay, I'm going to take them out. I think we're good. I would have loved to have a bit more grill on the top, but I think this is already good. This one was about to get to brown. Up, so it's still not brown yet. It was starting to brown, but I don't want to keep you for too long. So, up, this is our black truffle one. Up. It has melted properly. Up. So that's it. That's our wonders tonight. Up. And we're going to finish on this. Up. That's the croque monsieur I like. Gooey inside, crispy outside. So I hope that you enjoyed. Let's have a review of what we have here. Puff. Tac, tac. So level 1, just bread. Level 2 with that little mustard sauce. Level 3 with our bechamel one. Up. Sorry, it goes anywhere. So that's it with the bechamel and the truffle. And let's go to have a look at the last one, which is still in the oven. Look at him. He's hiding at the back. So you have to really be careful with this cast iron pan, it burns. Look at him. Okay, let's get something to put the pan on. Apple, can you come 2 seconds? Hold the camera.
Yeah.
Because up. So this is with Saint-Nectaire inside. Look at this.
Sizzling. Yeah.
Look at this. That's why I want to take different types of cheeses. And up. It's not yellow, too yellow, because it's not supposed to be completely yellow. They get this yellow color with additives usually. Some cheeses are more yellow than others. But look at this. Isn't that amazing? So that's going to be our wonderful croque monsieur night. Let's set this guy, the last one, on the table. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And to add some a bit of color, that's going to be my dessert tonight. Yeah, I took it as a treat. You know, every time, what I love is to try something new. Every time I go somewhere, I see something I never tried. I'm going for it. And look at this. Violet flavored praline. And violet flavored pastry cream, pâtissière cream. So that's all for us today. If you have no questions, you can. If you have questions, you can write them in the comments. I'm going to answer them bit by bit. And if you want exact recipes, I can send it to you later. And thank you for everything. Thank you for being there. And again, thank you for supporting us. Goodbye from Paris and Beyond Tours.